How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
You are the chief instructor for Reddish Chronicles, and you won the Jollof Challenge for a particular brand, which was really exciting. What's your Jollof recipe, by the way? Because a lot of us we have our different Jollof recipes, and I'd like to brag, even though I'm not a great cook, I'd like to brag that my Jollof is still top notch.
Uh,
So,
okay.
what's the Jollof?
The use of our broth, very, very important, man. Our chicken broth, after boiling it, the flavors in that broth helps with the flavor in your jollof rice. I like using butter instead of, not to, yeah, butter instead of a lot of oil. Your regular tomato paste, your blended tomato, pepper, yeah. With everything very, very nice and interesting.
Sounds interesting and fun and a lot of work. We were talking about how um, the pandemic has impacted the food business. First, how has the pandemic impacted you?
As a chef, being a chef, you have to not limit yourself based on what you normally do on a regular day.
Mm.
You can't really go out there and render a service. It's more of delivery services or online training, all those kind of activities. And as a chef instructor, it's more into the same thing. We don't have where I'm teaching at Reddish. We don't accumulate more at the regular amount of students that we normally do. And sometimes our classes are online, which can be tough, because everyone can afford data and the online services. So it's quite a struggle. More like implementing and still trying to look out for solutions that can help us in the near future.
I hear digital solutions to push the food business. Using now leveraging on online tools, and you believe that it's not ending anytime soon. But a lot of people have the belief that one of the industries that's been less hit is the food business. Because at the end of the day, even when there was lockdown, like strict lockdown in Lagos, Ogun State, and Abuja, restaurants were still open, but then the dynamics of how they work now changed. So, can you
Hmm.
talk us through how that worked out during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and how it has shifted now that there are some restrictions because of the curfew?
I think the system that restaurants, even in these states, use now, something other countries have imbibed. They have reduced their seats in the restaurants. A lot of safety precautions are put in place. So a lot of masks are being worn, gloves are being worn. The system of washing your hands before you enter the restaurants is a must. So yeah, the certain structures that are put in place. It's still tough too because restaurants are aiming to gather as much as they can. They now apply delivery services and other systems really that should help in boosting their business.
The reception like for people? I would like to know how are people patronizing, are people trusting this restaurants? Because I had a conversation with my friend who said we don't really know how these people during the lockdown though. We don't really know the process involved with how these people make make their foods, and I do not want to take that risk. So, have
Yeah.
you been able to get your customers trust even during the pandemic, which is key? Because a lot of people are just like, I would rather just cook it in my house and trust my own process than give it to go to a restaurant where I'm not so sure about their process during the pandemic.
Well, first off, some restaurants they kind of take it the wrong way. I think because, like I mentioned, now the customers are reduced. They now feel they can play with the prices, and that can now influence customers to now run in the mall. What can really help is a proper structured PR. It's the way transparency can work, especially time like this where people are very, like you said, your friend is like, should I go and eat here? I don't trust their stuff. So good PR is necessary, digital and sometimes. I mean, if you want to have a one-on-one conversation, that's why you need to have some database system for restaurants. Have the loyal customers, engage with them so they understand what's going on and what you're doing about it. Especially time like this. So That way, you are ensuring that, look, you can still come around, come have your favorite food, come and have your favorite experience with us. Just know that we are more secured and we have put things in play that you enjoy, while you are here with us.
From what you said this isn't going away anytime soon. You don't see the restaurants opening up before the end of the year. Do you see restaurants opening up before the end of the year? Because very soon we'll be in the festive periods. Usually, we'd have people coming in from different parts of the world to Nigeria to celebrate from October, November, December. Do you see that this year? And what are your projections of how we're going to handle all of that? Because there might be a relaxation of the travel ban, but how are food and prepping for this season, just in case it doesn't turn out like the previous years?
There's one. Look, honestly, this festive season was like our own peak period. We love these times, the rush hour, the extra customers that are running to us. It's going to be very tough. And like we just discussed about them not opening anytime soon. I mean, unless, but some things have to put in place for that to really, really work. For one, the borders are still closed. So I don't know if they'll be open by then. I don't know what the government is thinking. I don't know what they have in mind. But for us in here, we have to look at, should I say, effective ways of doing our thing. And I see a lot of families stay in their homes. If not involving their relatives to come over and stay in their homes, not necessarily we go out or we go and stay here and we go and stay there. I don't know how hotels are doing. I don't think they're accommodating as much as they used to, just like restaurants. So I'll say it's very limited. There will be a lot of home services, So for us like chefs or us in the food industry, we'll be looking more into going directly at the customers, and we have to gain their trust. So the festivity will be quite private, this period, quite personal, quite intimate, let me put it like that. Safety comes first at all times, and social distancing must be put in place.
During the lockdown, I personally had to order food, but then the delivery charges were off. So that was one of the incentives that drove me to the particular page, and I got my food ordered brought to me in less than an hour. But after a few weeks, when a lot of people they had gained back their customers, they went back to just make deliveries and you pay for your delivery charges and all of that. You see the charges and all of that. So how can these industries, that is logistic companies, food entrepreneurs, collaborate to make these transactions easier and cheaper? Because a lot of the burden is a lot on people. Some people are losing their jobs, and then you still have to eat. And then when you're trying to order food, it's still very expensive. The food is expensive on its own, and then you're adding the delivery charges into it. So how can both companies collaborate? Both industries collaborate. Is that even a possibility?
These are tough times, to be honest with you. Everyone is trying to, gather as much coins as they can, both customers and business owners. For restaurants and logistics companies, entrepreneurs, I believe there needs to be a fine line of agreement of some sort where they can come together and look aside, how much I can make. But rather, how can I benefit from this deal on the long run? We can't avoid the extra costs because everyone is kind of taking advantage of it. Logistics services are looking at them being the prime solicitor when it comes to now delivering food. So they want to capitalize on this situation. A lot of brands are doing that, but I believe. I want to believe in time they'll really, work side by side with entrepreneurs or brands and try and, see somewhere, because if they continue, a lot of things will break down. A lot of things would be destroyed. There'll be no need. I mean, companies may now have to end up creating their own logistics team or departments, and now ensuring that their food is delivered at low cost. Uh, on one side, logistics are hiking prices. On the other side, business owners, I've actually witnessed some business owners, limit or reduce their quality when it comes to delivery services.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of side, I mean, and they are taking advantage of this because at the end of the day, the customers can't come to the offices, can't approach the owners. They are still stuck at home. So a lot of businesses are just, okay, you know what, they'll just take what we give them, job. And logistics companies are just, some of them will increase at first. I've not seen one that reduced. I have negotiated with a few dispatch companies based on delivering food, and they'll tell you, okay, look, this is the price. We can't do this, we can't do that. And I'm like, you have a bike. I don't know what you're worried about. If you're delivering food for me, I'm here in Bagada and you're going to Ikeja. How much are you going to burn? Do you get? But they have to look at paying their staffs as well. But still, there has to be a fine line.
So let's round this off. This has been fun. But then a lot of people, because they've been at home, a lot of people are eating. So there's that stress that comes with the pandemic. So a lot of people have been eating rather too much. A lot of people tend to say I have, like, my face has popped up. But how can we address the weight issues? What are some of the dietary plans that we could go into check out to maintain a healthy nutrition during this pandemic?
What can help is one, structuring a menu. Okay, by structuring a menu, you literally have to now weigh portions. That is, how much food are you feeding yourself and your family? That is important. Honestly, we need to, because Nigerians, we love to just pile our plate and just relax and say, I've had a good time. Okay, if you're eating 3 times a day, you can't afford to pile your plates up 3 times a day. Something's gonna happen. Okay, so you manage yourself up very well. Also, when you're now looking at creating your menu, looking at balancing your meals. Okay, so balanced diet is important. We're looking at now measuring the items on the plate. We're talking about proteins, we're talking about the starch, we're talking about the veggies. Okay, personally, I'll recommend that there will be one portion of the starch and the protein and about 2 portions of vegetables, because you're looking at creating a good system for your body. You're looking at making sure your body has the right vitamins, has the right minerals, your immune system is healthy, okay, it's functioning. So you go out there, it's able to protect you aside your masks and your gloves. Okay, so you're also looking at involving fruits, very, very important. You're looking at involving fiber items, your nuts, okay, groundnuts, cashew nuts. You're looking at involving your whole grain items. When I'm by whole grain, you're looking, if you look at packs, you see them written whole grain, it means they're not fully processed. They're still, they leave the item fully with the nutrients, and that's very helpful because it now has the complete nutrients and the minerals that you need for your system. So you're looking at the whole package, how you can now arrange yourself. So the menu will help you tell you, okay, so I'm eating 3 times a day or 2 times a day. My portion is limited. In between those meals, I can put in fruits, I can put in nuts so that I don't overeat, or get bloated. And then that kind of reduces a lot of things, obesity, diabetes, a lot of these things that we could actually prevent. But it's out there. You can spoil yourself with a little scoop of ice cream. It's not a crime. Okay, but like you said, overdoing it is just the biggest crime for your system, for your body. Also, very important, please, exercise. Exercise is very, very important, yo. I mean, you can't eat all those things and then just have it, boom, landing somewhere. The carbohydrates you eat won't need to be broken down because you're not in active mood for it to break down. So it's just going to store like a glucose or some starch in your system, and you now have a belly and we're all chilling in our houses like, So exercise helps a lot, breaking down the starch, okay, and helps with the system.
I'm feeling attacked, but then I love it. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
No problem, Desmond. Thank you for having me.